Good morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Hakal. The top stories first. More than 139,000 people in Nepal infected with coronavirus. Active cases surged to 41,000. NCP leaders demand free treatment for coronavirus patients, insist that the government cannot run away from its duty during crisis. Reconstruction of Rani Pokhari completed, the historic site to be inaugurated today afternoon. UN urges Indian government to better protect rights defenders. Critics say India has grown increasingly intolerant to dissent. And Manchester United defeats PSG in Champions League group game. Chelsea settles for a 0-0 draw with Sevilla. And now the news in detail. The government has confirmed 3,093 new cases of coronavirus across the country during the latest round of tests. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, Kathmandu Valley alone reported 1,702 new cases. Among them, 1,431 cases were reported in Kathmandu alone. Meanwhile, Lalitpur and Bhaktapur reported 123 and 148 cases respectively. The total caseload of coronavirus in the country has now climbed to 139,129, while the number of active cases is 41,755. Meanwhile, the death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 765 across the country. The ministry yesterday confirmed the deaths of 8 more people due to coronavirus. So far, 96,609 persons have recovered from the disease in Nepal. Nepal is currently among the top 35 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. Senior leader of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Madhav Kumar Nepal, has demanded free treatment for coronavirus-infected persons. He has asked the government to immediately revoke its decision not to provide free treatment to coronavirus patients. Leader Nepal opined that the government's decision to shy away from free treatment is a wrong decision and therefore decided to draw the attention of the government to this issue. He further stated that the government must fulfill its responsibility as the guardian during testing times and urged it take back its illogical decision. He said that the government must stand as a firm support to the people during the current crisis and provide free treatment. But the decision not to provide free treatment is an irresponsible one, according to Nepal. He expressed his view that the government cannot run away from its duty to provide free treatment to the people during the current crisis. Assistant Sub-Inspector Govinda Bika, the in charge of police beat in Jugeda of Kailali, and Constable Ramchandra Saud were murdered after they tried to stop the smuggling of garden peas. 7 people arrested during the preliminary investigation of the case have admitted to the murder of both the police personnel. According to SP Mukesh Singh of the Far Western Provincial Police, 13 suspicious people were arrested in connection to the murder, out of which there were no evidences against 6. Last Saturday, Sub-Inspector Bika and Constable Saud fell victims to the smugglers while on their regular night patrol. The police personnel had used a motorcycle with the number plate BA 51 PA 5284. Sub-Inspector Bika's body was discovered near the Mohana River on Sunday. Saud's body was discovered yesterday 200 meters southeast to where Bika's body had been found. Saud's body was buried half feet below the ground, SP Singh informed. Sub-Inspector Bika's pistol and mobile phone had also been removed from the scene. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. Leaders of the main opposition party, Nepali Congress, have demanded the government to immediately take back its decision requiring COVID patients to pay for their treatment cost. NC leader Prakashman Singh opined that the government's decision defies the spirit of the constitution. The government has failed to secure citizens' rights to life and right to health guaranteed as fundamental right by the constitution. Leader Singh lamented. The government has given up on protecting its citizens when the infection has escalated all across the country by asking the country leader, Singh lamented. The government needs to take back its decision and work on controlling the infection rates swiftly, Singh added.
Government ले चाहिँ जुन यो हेल्थको यो चाहिँ जुन मौलिक अधिकार अन्तर्गत पनि यो चाहिँ जुन भनौं न आधारभूत सेवालाई जुन सरकारले चाहिँ ग्यारेन्टी गर्नुपर्नेमा यो सरकारले चाहिँ पछि हट्नुको मतलब यो सरकारको गैर जिम्मेदारीपन.
Likewise, NC's Joint General Secretary Prakash Saran Mahat also accused the government of failing to protect citizens' access to basic health facilities as secured by the Constitution.
यो नितान्त गलत हो. अहिले संक्रमणको कारणले आम नागरिकहरू अत्यन्त पीडामा छन्. उपचार खर्च व्यवस्था गर्न नसक्ने अवस्थामा छन्. त्यसमाथि सर्वसाधारण नागरिकहरू यो परीक्षणको समेत खर्च बिहोर्न नसक्ने अवस्थामा अब त्यो जिम्मेवारीबाट पनि म पन्छिन्छु भनेर सरकारले भन्नु यो खेदजनक छ, निन्दनीय छ र नेपाली कांग्रेस घोर निन्दा गर्दछ र यो निर्णय तत्काल सरकारले फिर्ता लिनुपर्दछ.
Congress had earlier announced protest programs after Dasai festival from both the parliament and the streets. The newly renovated historic site Rani Pokhari will be inaugurated today. The inauguration is scheduled to take place at 12 noon. Minister for Urban Development Krishna Gopal Shrestha said that the inauguration was scheduled as the reconstruction of the Rani Pokhari damaged by the 2015 earthquake has been fully completed. President Bidya Devi Bhandari is all set to inaugurate the site. President Bhandari had laid the foundation stone for the reconstruction of Rani Pokhari on the occasion of the National Earthquake Day on 16th January 2015.
यो रानी पोखरी शिलान्यास गर्नुभयो. अब उहाँकै तर्फबाट भोलि 2077 साल कार्तिक 5 गते दिनको 1 बजे यही रानी पोखरी दिनको 12 बजे यही रानी पोखरीको छेउमा एउटा विशेष कार्यक्रम अन्तर्गत यो रानी पोखरीको विधिवत रूपमा उद्घाटन हुनेछ.
The Bal Gopaleshwar temple in the middle of the Rani Pokhari was previously constructed in the Gumbaz-style architecture. However, after adopting the suggestions of the experts, the reconstruction was completed in Garanthakut Shikhar style of architecture, which comes from the time of Pratap Malla, the Malla king responsible for the construction of the Rani Pokhari. And now the news from the economic front. Banks have decided to close all of their branches for the 5 days of the Dasai festival. Nepal Bankers Association informed of the decision in a notice released yesterday. They have cited the increase in the number of cases of COVID-19 patients as the reason to halt all services during the festive holidays. According to the notice, the branches will remain closed from Friday 23rd October to 27th of October for 5 days. In previous years, the banks used to provide service during the festive season through their 365 days service counter. According to the association, more than 3,700 staffs from commercial banks have been infected with the coronavirus until now. The association has also informed that all digital banking services and ATMs will be operational during the 5 days. It has also appealed all customers to use the digital banking services to minimize the threat of the coronavirus during the pandemic. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. The UN Human Rights Chief on Tuesday urged India's government to do more to protect human rights defenders, AP reported. According to the news agency, human rights defenders have come under mounting pressure in recent months in the world's largest democracy. High Commissioner for Human Rights Michelle Bachalett's office pointed to 3 problematic laws in India that have previously tightened restrictions on non-governmental organizations and led to a crackdown on dissent. Her office lamented vaguely worded laws that restrict foreign funding that are increasingly being used to quell voices in civil society. According to AP, the administration of Prime Minister Narendra Modi views most foreign-funded non-profit organizations and rights groups with suspicion. Last month, advocacy group Amnesty International halted its operation in India, citing alleged reprisals by the government and the freezing of its bank accounts by Indian authorities. Critics say India under Modi has grown increasingly intolerant, with a crackdown on dissent unprecedented in scale. Leaders of Modi's party have routinely labeled critics as anti-nationals, and the authorities have dealt with many rights advocates and activists with an iron fist. The United States and Russia inched closer to Tuesday to a deal to extend their last remaining arms control pact, AP reported. According to the news agency, the two sides have shown interest for the pact after US earlier threatened to allow the deal to expire. The two sides signaled they are ready to accept compromises to salvage the New START treaty just 2 weeks ahead of the US presidential election. US President Donald Trump faces a strong challenge from former Vice President Joe Biden, whose campaign has accused Trump of being soft on Russia. After the White House last week rejected a proposal from the Kremlin to keep the accord alive, Moscow said Tuesday it could agree to a US proposed freeze on each side's nuclear warheads and to extend the treaty by 1 year. In response, the US said it was ready for a quick deal. In a statement, Russia's foreign ministry outlined the shift in Moscow's position after last week's apparent breakdown in talks. The New START treaty expires in February. The statement said Russia is prepared for a deal if the US agrees to put forward no additional demands. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. The UEFA Champions League for 2020-21 season kicked off yesterday. The league stage of the Europe's most prestigious club competition began yesterday with 8 matches played from 4 groups. English club Chelsea settled for a goalless draw at Stamford Bridge and with Spanish side Sevilla. Manchester United produced their best performance of the season so far by defeating French League champions PSG by 2-1. Marcus Rashford won the match for the Red Devils by scoring in the 87th minute at Parc des Paris after Bruno Fernandes had given them the lead. PSG's only goal was an own goal scored by United's Anthony Martial. In other matches, Italian champions Juventus defeated Dinamo Kiev through an Alvaro Morata brace, while German club Borussia Dortmund lost 3-1 at Lazio. Lionel Messi scored in a joint record 16th Champions League season as Barcelona defeated Ferencváros by 5-1. Today, champions Bayern Munich will take on Atletico Madrid, while English club Manchester City and Liverpool will also be in action against FC Porto and Ajax. Kings 11 Punjab's resurgence continued yesterday as they beat top of the table Delhi Capitals by 5 wickets. This was Punjab's back-to-back third win in as many matches. They've defeated RCB, Mumbai Indians and Delhi Capitals in a row. Earlier, Delhi Capitals had won the toss and decided to bat first at the Dubai International Stadium. Man of the match, Shikhar Dhawan, scored a blistering 106 from 61 balls, hitting 12 fours and 3 sixes. However, his innings was the only highlight of the Capitals' batting card as no other player crossed the 20-run mark. Delhi ended the innings at 164 runs in the allotted 20 overs. In reply, West Indian Nicholas Puran scored a quick-fire 53 runs in 28 balls and partnered well with his international teammate Chris Gayle, who scored 29 in 13 balls. The game was seen through by Glenn Maxwell, who scored 32 runs in the middle of the innings, helping Punjab pull off another win against a top side. Today, Kolkata Knight Riders will take on Royal Challengers Bangalore in the 39th match of the Indian Premier League. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. More than 139,000 people in Nepal infected with coronavirus. Active cases surged to 41,000. NCP leader demands free treatment for coronavirus patients, insists that the government cannot run away from its duty during crisis. Reconstruction of Rani Pokhari completed, the historic site to be inaugurated today afternoon. UN urges Indian government to better protect rights defenders. Critics say India has grown increasingly intolerant to dissent. And Manchester United defeats PSG in Champions League group game. Chelsea settled for a 0-0 draw with Sevilla. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.